Boom. Focus. Hey, internets. Quick video, and then again, this is from an email from Jerome from the UK. Big shout out to the UK. Can't wait to visit all my supporters over there. So in this email, he said, do you believe good artwork is obsolete in t-shirts? My reason for that statement is I see a lot of designs that are funny, smart, and grab attention. But what I see as bestsellers, you wouldn't see anyone wearing outside with day, night, or weekends. So that's a good question. We're talking about design. We're talking about what sells. So the value for you guys, for everybody watching, is what type of thing should I design? Keeping sales in mind. And then it's also kind of versus art direction, like what you believe you want your line to be and what you want your line to be defined as or perceived as, right? Like the type of things you want to see your clothing brand next to. When I say next to, I mean other brands. Like what brands do you love? So obviously your brand would be something that hangs on a hanger in a retail just like them. Okay. Now it's true. A lot of times when I'm designing a line, there'll be pieces that I love. Now, I'm different though than our typical demographic. Our typical demographic is anywhere from 16 to, let's say, mid 20s, right? It could be anything from late high school to the young professional, right? And I'm 39, right? I'm gonna be 40 as I'm recording this. I don't know when I'm gonna post this one, but as I'm recording this, I'm gonna be 40 this year. So I'm outside of our demographic, and I have my own different taste. A lot of times I'm wearing a black shirt, so it's like no logos, no brand on it typically. So I just have a different aesthetic than probably our average consumer. So the things that I love in our brand that I personally love is different from my mentality when I'm designing, because I'm designing for everybody we're serving. Okay, so the things that I would love though will not be the items that are the best sellers most of the time when we get the data at the end of a season and we see all our sell-through coming in from all of our retail, right? And that happens all the time. So I'm actually not a good predictor of that, but generally speaking, the general sales will be up because we do our research in what we need to give to the market. So when we're talking about graphic design, that's why you have a lot of different categories. The biggest brand that I've worked for in 2004, 2005 is Ezekiel. Ezekiel, still in the market, looks very different, but there's some good leadership there. They're putting out some really good styles. In any case, Ezekiel at the time was doing 30 million a year. So our soft goods program was pretty big. And that's the first time I worked at a place where literally we had categories. So we had athletically inspired t-shirts. We had slogan inspired t-shirts. And actually at the time there was a lot of beer branding. So we would do rips of like beer companies and that sort of thing. And we'd work Ezekiel into it instead of whatever the name of that alcohol company was. And so those are all different categories that you would then study. Not those specific ones. It depends on when, I would approach it a little bit differently in terms of what the categories are, but you want to look at categories. So you have your logo-based t-shirts, and then you can have statement-based t-shirts. That would be really big right now because like an Instagram culture, anything that's like a meme, that might really sell because it's an impulse buy and people like it, versus what you're talking about, Jerome, which is more of a fashion statement. So what I want to say is there design, is design obsolete? It's not. I mean, a lot of people will argue kind of on the other end of things, but it's all kind of part of the process because you want to do things that you feel is moving your culture or your fashion forward, and then you want to do things that just pay the bills and keep the lights on and keep the lease going on in your workplace, right, in your brand or whatever it is. So while it might not be something that you wear to a nightclub or like something you're kind of proud to wear, that's more of a personal preference but you gotta also have what sells. So within that spectrum, you don't necessarily have to sell out your brand, or you can maybe make another brand and all that brand does is like memes and slogans, but you can work it artfully into your brand so it still kind of makes sense, because at the end of the day, you still want to do something that sells. Coffee. So hope that helps. Any other questions, any things you guys wanted to add to the conversation, please drop it all down below. Follow me on social media when you have a chance. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.